What is up? Coming to you live from the jungle of Tiger, the Tigerland. You can actually see Tigerland behind me today as we're sitting in the opposite angle of window. And we're relatively on time. We're only 4 minutes late instead of the usual 30 to 40 minutes late. That's because I live 5 minutes from my job now. What is up? It's time. It's time for Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast, the Monday edition, the November 23rd edition, it's the Monday before Turkey Day. It's fun time for everybody. Hey, Bradney, how's it going? Welcome back. Yeah, we're live, and my mic is apparently incredibly hot. My mic is super duper hot, so I'm gonna have to play with Audacity after the fact to fix the audio. Yay! And you can hear Tiger in the background. You can hear Awesome Rosa in the background. It's another Monday here. It's the week after episode 200. Technically, we got our Wi-Fi last week, but I didn't get everything situated to see. How's family do? Family is great. We moved to a new place. Tiger is very happy. The wife is very happy, and we are still completely disorganized. And we're trying to unpack, moving and packing. It's a chore. I'm sure most of you have experienced this in your life at some point. We're still trying to unpack with a baby who is 10 months and incredibly rambunctious. Yeah, this entire living room behind us is literally his domain. We have little gates up where he can crawl around. That's one of the big reasons why we moved from the cat house to the jungle. We needed some place for Tiger to prowl. And we feel very comfortable with him prowling around in this new place. It's very nice. Oh, hello, House Tanaka. Ryan is on. He said, hello, House Cervantes. We're like a house in Game of Thrones. House Cervantes. I guess our banner would be either a little tiger or a lemon. A tiger eating a lemon. So, speaking of ridiculous things, the wife and I, we managed, because we got the Wi-Fi set up last week, we hooked up the old television and the old PlayStation 4, and we fired up Hulu because we wanted to watch Animaniacs. Animaniacs is back, and it made us feel incredibly old because as we watched the first episode, it was... it was 22 years ago, apparently, since Animaniacs has been canceled. I didn't realize Animaniacs was canceled in 1998. I don't know, for whatever reason, I felt like it went a little longer than that, but I guess 1998 was the last time we had Animaniacs, and apparently now in 2020, I guess it took them 2 years to write, and then probably, well, I guess the 2 years was the animating it. Because they made jokes about that in the show. Because like, oh, it's come out in 2020, but we're writing this in 2018. Let's just predict things. If you were ever a fan of the irreverent style of Animaniacs, it does not disappoint. It is literally, I don't know if it's the same writing team or they got the same bite. The joke that slayed Rosa and I was there was a joke in Pinky and the Brain where. Oh, I'm sorry, my wife is making me laugh right now. She's flinging cheesy poofs at Tiger right now. There was a joke, Pinky in the Brain, where they're talking about the internet. I guess the internet was an invention of the brain, and he's like, Pinky, do you know what the number one thing humans do with the internet? And then Pinky goes,
I think I do, but I wouldn't want to say.
But I don't think I'm allowed to say. It's like, yep, this is the Animaniacs. Everyone who was worried, oh no, there's no way there would be as good as they used to be. Nope, it's still just as irreverent and still just as funny. And I think I know what it is, but I don't think I'm allowed to say. Just done. We were laughing hard. I think we missed whatever the next joke that Brain said because we were too busy laughing at Pinky alluding to pornography as slyly as he could. The show is just, I don't know if the entire season is up. I know we watched a couple of episodes. We were just like, let's just fire up another one. Tiger was happily playing around in his little tiger land. So like, hey, we can watch TV now. Yay! And it's funny that later in the night, I sat the little dude, and we were watching, because I was catching up on an old Netflix show that left off on with the Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. Incredibly sad and depressing show, but it's still kind of entertaining. And I had Ty on my lap as we were watching it, and random things from the show were just making him laugh, because he just was, I don't know if it was just the funny faces of Neil Patrick Harris, or just like the wild, it's a very colorful, very, it's a very stylistic show. But for like, Ty was sitting there watching it with me. He's like looking at the big old TV, and like he's random like stuff would happen. He'd be like, I'm like, "You're laughing at the show, kid?" And yeah, apparently like he's reacting to things. My wife was showing him Home Alone, and he was laughing and reacting. I'm sure. I mean, you show anybody Joe Pesci being set on fire, you're gonna laugh. I mean. Yeah, was it that? I feel like that was the scene, like, when you sent me the Snapchat. I saw the scene of like him going up the stairs with the tar and his shoes coming off and his socks. Exactly. Stepping on the nail. I think it was a funny face. You like funny faces. Tiger enjoys funny faces. Whenever I give him a nice funny face, he gives me a smile. He's looking at me now like, nope, he's not. He's just here off to my left right now. Yeah, he's having his dinner right now. Yeah, but we're getting back to stream at some point after Ty falls asleep. I don't know. At some point this week, we have to catch up to the Mandalorian. We're behind 2 episodes again. But we're gonna get to it at some point when this kid's asleep, because I don't know. I don't know about showing him the Mandalorian. It's like, as adorable as the child is. There's a lot of other super duper violent stuff that happens, and I'm that overprotective parent. That's who I am. I'm like, oh no, let's not show you that. I have a horrible memory. Like a friend of mine, like he was raising his kid in our comic shop 20 years ago, and I was watching The Matrix, and his kid at 2 years old was like, oh, he's looking right at the screen right when Trinity shoots Agent Smith right in the head, and I was like, uh-oh, that's not a good thing. I'm like, Jalen, were you looking at that? And he was just like staring at the screen, and you just see like Trinity just like, bah, point blank blast either Agent Smith or another one of the agents. What do I think about Wonder Woman coming to HBO Max? I think it's a very telling sign that the movie industry knows that the pandemic has basically killed movie theaters. Yeah, we're not getting movie theaters back. Well, especially not in Los Angeles County. Although technically we live in Orange County now, but I think we're still dwellers of LA County. We're like on the border. Yeah, I think that the fact that Warner Brothers has decided, like they're doing they're pulling what Disney's kind of like hesitant to do, because Disney put Mulan on Disney Plus, and I don't know how successful that was, charging people that extra premium, where I think you can just watch it now on Disney Plus with no restrictions, where like you had to pay whatever the price to be able to watch it early. So I think that HBO and Warner Brothers, they're just like, HBO Max, that's basically Warner Brothers / AT&T. Apparently, I need to get into contact with former co-host Pete Molini. I guess something's going down with DC Comics today. There's a lot of stuff going down where I guess Jim Lee got let go today. One of my coworkers was telling me about that today. I was like, what the hell? I got to contact Pete Molini and ask him about normally I get, back in the days, if Pete Molini was still sitting next to me, I'd be like, okay, Pete, what the F is going on? Because, obviously Pete is a comic shop owner. He has his thumb on the pulse of comics. I have not set foot in a comic shop since before the pandemic. I think I went to Pete's once to go pick up all those toys, and I haven't read a comic book in roughly since before he was born. I haven't read a comic book in about 10 months, so I am out of it as far as comics go. I need Pete Molini in here, but the movie theaters are a staple. It has to come. Yeah, I obviously, yes, I agree. I love the movie theater experience. I want in 3 to 4 years for me and the boy here to go do a movie theater and watch a movie. I want to see his eyes get all big as a big old animated movie comes on the big screen and be like, whoa, that live movie. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of movies, son. me and your grandpa went to go watch Jurassic Park like this. You want to see big movies on the big screen. I mean, TVs are fine. You can have a home theater, but there's nothing like looking at a giant screen and seeing crazy stuff like a Jurassic Park or a Terminator or some other like big, budget, action movie. I can't imagine Avengers, and as much as much as I love a lot of the scenes from Avengers Endgame, I think it was like it's real cool. See it on my phone, see it on my screen, but like seeing it in the theater, just like whoa.
I think we should get a projector.
You want to get a projector?
Yeah, it'll go good on that wall.
You think it'll go good on the wall? A projector? Yeah.
But we have to get good speakers or a sound system.
Yeah, it have to be a sound system.
Projector sound is horrible.
Yeah, we have to set that up because yeah, we're going through like I don't know if I necessarily want to mount my TV. We'll put the TV in the bedroom.
Oh wait, man.
Put a projector over here up on the ceiling. Projector on the ceiling, blast it that way. And this little guy can be blown away whenever he watches Molly of Denali.
In THX.
In THX.
Dolby surround.
The audience is now deaf. I think that was a joke from Tiny Toon Adventures back in the day. That was something from from Animaniacs. It reminded me of a lot of the older cartoons because you see a lot of there was a whole song where Dot was doing getting cartoon rights, and you see a whole bunch of Warner Brothers characters and a bunch of the Hanna-Barbera characters come out. Yeah, no, the TV. Yeah, no, there's a fence around the TV right now. Like I said, that TV has to get mounted at some point. I gotta go either order a mount on on Amazon or go down to the Best Buy and get a TV mount. Oculus, you watch movies in a VR theater. No, I haven't tried Oculus. I mean, I tried the PSVR, back in the old days, back when you could go to a store and could try things out. I tried PSVR. That was kind of weird, but I don't know if my poor brain is one of those brains where I don't know if I get too dizzy. But I don't know. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to put a PSVR on this kid's head. He's too little. The VR helmet. It's like, oh, what the heck? Are we going to watch Tom and Jerry on HBO? I haven't seen the trailer. I don't know, honey, did you heard about this? There is a Tom and Jerry live action movie that's going to be coming out, apparently. The Tom and Jerry are going to be animated, but they're going to be in the real world.
Wow.
I don't know. It's still too heavy in my opinion. Yeah, I don't like the PSVR. Yeah, I think my brother has the PSVR. He kept offering to let me play the Rick and Morty game, but I know it's popular because at work we are selling all sorts of VR games left and right. Like there's currently there's a Creed like the rock like the movie Creed. There's a boxing game, and we've been selling that game like crazy lately. I was asking my boss, why is this game out of nowhere a VR boxing? And then I thought about, there hasn't been a good boxing game. There hasn't been a boxing game since probably like Fight Night Champion, or dare I say, going all the way back to freaking Wii Sports. Am I getting the PS5? No, not anytime soon. I have no plans on picking up a PS5. Regardless if I had like Space Jam or Garfield. Yes, like Space Jam or Garfield is a Tom and Jerry. I guess go check YouTube. Yeah, Daniel Wong. An early start. I missed an hour already. No, Daniel. You only missed maybe like 12 minutes. I got home relatively early from work, and I got to set up. Now that I live 5 minutes away, it's like it's much easier for me to get home instead of living 45 minutes away from my job. Yeah, PS5. Even with or without the baby, I try not to pick up system. Like the only system. Oh, okay. Now we're back. Okay, sorry. I was like, I thought we lost the show for a second.
Is that an internet connection? The Spectrum?
This Spectrum, yeah, we got this Spectrum. Apparently, I got to go out and buy a better wireless router. What do I call it? I got derailed by that thing. Oh yeah, the PS5. Yeah, no, I'm not going to pick that up anytime soon. Even without a child, I probably wouldn't be picking up a PS5 at launch. There's no, I see no the cost benefit of tracking down a PS5. I mean, there's hardly any games. Like we laugh about it at work because we still don't have our first one of the PS5 games that we're helping publish, Spirit of the North, that's coming out later. Like this week or next week. We still don't even have it, and we're not carrying any of the other PS5 games. Apparently, they're like either all selling out or I don't know. We're not carrying out our job. We are not a new release carrier. We're just like, oh, we carry all the budget stuff and we carry all the stuff that people like. We publish stuff and we carry closeout stuff. Yeah, see, bless you. No worries, wife. I have to go do more research. Bradney here's asking what I think about DC firing their staff. That's why I'm tripping. I only heard about Jim Lee and and then some other stuff like where they're not publishing any of their regular books right now.
He's going down or what?
That's kind of weird. One of the bad things about all these corporate conglomerations, because AT&T bought basically what Warner Brothers, or they merged together, and I guess the problem with comic books is usually the actual comic book company itself usually loses money, and in recent years, it's because of all the movies and all the other stuff. That's where you make the money. You don't make the money on the physical comic books. You make money on the licensing of these characters onto T-shirts and toys and cereal boxes and whatever stuff gets licensed to video games or. I heard they fired Jim Lee. That's what my buddy was telling me today. I was like, what? I thought that because I remember when Pete and I were texting about this a few months ago when the stuff was going down when my older clone Dan DiDio got let go. I was just like, oh wow, they let him go, but apparently the internet really hated him. And then now it's like apparently today Jim Lee, right after they just unveiled the Batman statue in Burbank that's just outside of executive producer Sam Zia's house.
You're fired.
Yeah, great job unveiling that statue, and now you're fired. I guess today there was another big culling of executives. Yeah. So the thing is, I think AT&T is looking at this purely as in the finances, like, all these comic books just lose money. Everything goes. I don't, like I said, I haven't done any. That's why I really wasn't going to talk about it today because I haven't done any research about what's going on with DC today. It was more like I wanted to try to see if I can get Pete on a Zoom call and do a separate video about it because I'm sure he knows exactly what's going on with what's happening with DC Comics. Something crazy. Apparently, something crazy happened today. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, the comics is a very tough proposition, especially as these big corporations. It's a big surprise when Disney bought Marvel, they didn't shut down. Well, the thing is, they can't shut down the publishing branch because you need to keep the original IP going. That's the whole reason. They're willing to lose money because these movies are making money. But you have to keep the comic books going so you can keep the trademarks. Because a lot of this stuff is 75, a lot of the DC stuff is 75, 80 years old. A lot of the Marvel stuff is somewhere in somewhere in that same range of 60, 70 years. And so copyright laws are really complicated. I'm sure Disney has been working diligently to try to find their way around copyright laws to try to make sure. I think we talked about this a couple months ago. Make sure Mickey Mouse never becomes public domain because he's existed since the 20s or the 30s. If my brain is, I have a computer that connected to the internet. I should be looking it up right now. I'm not used to having such quick access to stuff like that in the middle of the show. All right, I have Pete have to tap dance and look things up while I was doing the show. But yeah, they're trying to figure out ways around copyright law. But usually a lot of these companies would keep, Warner Brothers kept the DC comics going because it's a farm of IPs. Look, all these characters, you have to keep publishing them in order to keep the rights. But I guess AT&T, whoever's in charge there, doesn't care about this. Jim Lee is leaving, not fired. Okay. Well, I know. I just heard Jim Lee was no longer part of DC Comics, and that's what I was it's slightly disappointing, but I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of. I think that's what Pete was saying. I thought that DC would try to keep him from going back to Marvel and drawing a bunch of covers, but maybe that's what we're going to get in 60 to 90 days. Whatever corporate non-compete clause is probably on old Jim Lee. Yeah, it's really complicated, but these corporations, AT&T must look at this as, this division is losing money. Let's get rid of it. And I think that's at the end of the day, all these corporations just look at it as business decisions. At the end of the day, they just look at the ledger. They don't see everything beyond that, the other ramifications. It's just non-comic book people or people who don't understand how copyright law works are just going to make these decisions, and then some peon is going to tell sir, excuse me, if we do this, it's going to have ramifications. We don't care about ramifications. Are we making profit? No, get rid of it. And that's where you lose a lot of art and creativity because it's not a lot of times it's not profitable to be artistic or take creative chances. That's how I've always liked. I'm sure Marvel will scoop up Jim Lee at that moment's notice. My coworker, he was speculating that hell, the entirety of DC Comics would get purchased by Marvel. But he's just talking out of his ass. I'm like, I don't think that would happen. I don't know if I really doubt they would be dumb enough to hand off all those IPs to Disney. That would be ridiculous. DC deceased. I haven't read a comic book in 10 months. Literally. Actually, probably even longer than that, because I haven't been to Pete's when Pete took his sabbatical. That was last September or October? But it's been over a year since I've sat down at Nostalgia Books and Comics to read a comic book. It's been quite a while. There's no money for the comic book budget anymore. All the money goes into feed the tiger, bathe the tiger, keep the tiger alive. Yeah, there's no way that DC and Marvel under one house. It would be insane. I don't think all the movie side would be like, no, we're just hand over all of our IPs to the studio down the street, because the Warner Brothers studio is literally down the street from the Disney studio. Like if you know Burbank at all, it's literally on the same street. Actually, it's literally also on the same street where we used to broadcast this show, where iHeartRadio has their studios. That it was right in between. Like there's Olive Avenue, and then there you got the Walt Disney Studios on Buena Vista and Olive. Or no, actually Buena Vista and some other street, because Olive splits off. I'm just being too pedantic about this. Oh, I have a comic historian, Pete Molini, but he's not available on Mondays anymore. He was going to try to rearrange his schedule to come on Monday nights, last Monday night, but we couldn't make that happen. It's just crazy what's going on with all this stuff. It's out of control. I don't know what's happening. I have not heard what Tom King has done. I like Tom King stuff. I meant to get some of his. I wanted to get a hold of the new Batman and Catwoman comic, because I know my wife would probably enjoy that very much, because she really liked all the Tom King Batman getting married to Catwoman stuff. That was a lot of fun stuff when that was going on. Gosh, that feels like forever ago. Feels like yeah, before you were even pregnant, we were reading those comics, and that was like 2018. Good God, it seems like a lifetime ago. But also this past weekend, I know a lot of you are not big on the professional wrestling, but I still am, even though the WWE is not as fun as it used to be. This past weekend, you want to sing a song for us, Ty? The Undertaker announced his. I guess he announced he was done, but I guess they decided to have a nice little symmetry. But I guess last night was the Survivor Series, and it was the 30th anniversary of his debut as the Undertaker, or as my wife likes to call him, Kelsey Grammer. Old Undertaker, yeah, they had a big tribute for him last night. Like at the end of the show, he got all of his boys a payday, because they all got to parade out, and he got to parade out all his boys. They all probably got a payday from Vince, and then Vincent Kennedy McMahon came out, and I didn't catch it because when it happened, but apparently Vince McMahon he screwed up and he said WWF instead of WWE. I guess I don't know if he was so emotionally choked up at watching one of his greatest cash cows officially retire. Vince McMahon goes, one of the greatest superstars in WWF history, Undertaker. And I was even joking with my wife. I'm like, oh, wow, Vince's regular voice has become his friggin' Mr. McMahon voice, because he used to have a normal voice. He used to have a normal voice. Hello, everyone. This is Vince McMahon. What a maneuver! Because he used to be the play-by-play guy, and he was terrible at it until he removed himself and became a villainous character. But yeah, here he looked weathered. Poor Vince. I mean, he's feeling the 72 or 74, however old old Vinnie Mac is. He was looking his age, and then also looking really old. Yeah, the Taker came out. I forget how old Taker is. I don't know if I think he's in his late 50s. But yeah, he came out and he did his little the Undertaker. Now I will, and then he did the line. I thought he was going to. I will rest in peace, and he walked out and he did his long walk back. Yeah, Paul Bearer's yeah, they did a hologram of Paul Bearer since old Percy Pringle passed away. God, that was like 7 years ago or 8 years ago. Percy Pringle passed, and yeah, it was just it was a thing. Yeah, you imagine there was a YouTube video of him doing those hot wings. I guess because now the Undertaker, he's just like he's no longer hiding. He's no longer keeping the character, the mystique alive. He's like, there's a video on YouTube of him doing hot ones, and he does it in the Undertaker gear. I don't know if he does it in his Undertaker voice. But what also was hilarious, like, because immediately after Survivor Series, they had another like a Stone Cold interview podcast where he interviewed old Undertaker, aka Mark Calloway, and my wife got to hear the Undertaker's actual voice, and she's like, "Wait, that's him? That's his voice?" And it's just a regular old country Texas redneck. And it's funny. Lately on Twitter, he's caught a lot of heat because I guess during his his Michael Jordan-esque documentary. How do you know we're old? The Undertaker retires. Yeah, he's just a big ass Texan. He goes, yeah, I guess during his little Michael Jordan-esque documentary, he kept wearing the Blue Lives Matter shirt. So everyone, I've been calling him MAGA Taker because he's clearly a Blue Line supporter. He's a Blue Lives Matter kind of guy. It's like, oh man, and so a lot of people are like, oh, how. So a lot of people were canceling Taker on the internet. They're like, oh no, and some people, no, I can't. He's such an influence on my life. The Undertaker. I'm like, bro, dude, yeah, if you colored, he hates you. No, but a couple of his boys in his BS, because he was talking about it, one of his best friends, Charles Wright, the Godfather. I guess that's Taker's black friend.
Yeah, he's code blue.
That is code blue. And then, yeah, over the weekend, they really, I guess, I don't know if it was just, I don't know, if some marketing thing. It was like, there's t-shirts of, like, The Undertaker and Snoop Dogg. So I guess maybe that's his other black friend. Yeah, no, there is t-shirts licensed of, like legends. And it has, like, Undertaker on one side and Snoop Dogg on the other. I don't know. Taker and Snoop Dogg.
It's like the worst thing. Like, oh.
He's like a Blue Lives Matter guy, but
spoken black person.
It's like
so
let's bring in a popular black person that everybody likes.
It's like, no.
It's insane. I was like, wow. I'm like, who's in charge of your PR, Mark? Like, someone should stop you from wearing those Blue Lives Matter shirts. I mean, like, these are clear decisions. These are decisions that are being made. And yeah, but it's funny because there was one guy I follow on Twitter. He's like, "No, I got nothing to do with MAGA Taker. I wasn't watching that interview. I had it on. I just wanted to, I love listening to Stone Cold. I mean, Stone Cold is a redneck. I don't know. He does a good job of hiding where he lies on the political spectrum because he knows he is not going to alienate half of his fans because. He's not going to tell everybody that he's a card-carrying Republican. He's going to be like, he just keeps it nice and nebulous. He's like, I'm just Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah. Everybody can live their lives however they want to live their lives. Oh, hell yeah. Make sure you listen to my podcast. Please don't. I'm not going to eliminate half of my people. Yeah, Taker's PR is terrible. But it's great. The interview was actually pretty hilarious. Just listening to Redneck Taker. Yeah, Stone Cold. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He flips. Like he'll err on one side and then he'll flip back to the other to make sure he doesn't lose his entire fan base. Because in 1997 he was like the most popular guy in wrestling. Dude, he helped him and The Rock made wrestling cool back in the late 90s. Everybody's wearing Austin 316 shirts. Nobody cared about his politics back then, and I'm sure he does a darn good job of trying to keep that hidden. He loves his hunting, but he also has a very, I believe he has an incredibly liberal wife from Southern California. So I think that helps him keep balanced. His third or fourth wife. I'm sure she keeps him nice and fair and balanced. My wife, she's vegan. I can't be. She lets me eat the meat. Oh no, she'll cook it for me. Gotta make sure we go down to the Trader Joe's. When we're over in Texas, we gotta drive an hour and a half to Trader Joe's. I remember him saying that on his podcast. I'm like, I imagine Stone Cold Steve Austin in his flip-flops and his jean shorts and his black t-shirt walking into the Trader Joe's. Hey, is this vegan? I gotta make sure it's vegan. Take it home for my wife. Because if it ain't vegan, she's not gonna eat. And I'm not gonna hear the end of it. Oh, hell no. Old Stone Cold. Gotta get this hummus. Gotta get these black peas. Is that voice funny, Bubba? Is that voice funny, Ty? Oh, hell yeah. I can make sure I get some tall boys. Those are vegan, right? Get my Stone Cold. Yeah. See, yeah. Stone Cold's probably liberal when he's in Hollywood. Oh, hell yeah. Get me a Prius. And he gets back in his Ford Focus. Legit, he has a Ford Focus. It's hilarious. Listen to his podcast. He's a ridiculous man, and that's why I watched that show afterwards. Yeah, it was just funny conversations. Them like going over. I didn't realize there was a match where the Undertaker was set on fire by accident. The pyro guy lit the Undertaker on fire. Huh. And he was talking about because I guess the stage. This is back when they were still using a lot of fireworks and pyro. Like when Undertaker comes out, there's like big flames coming out. Yeah. Like the music. Yeah. The music hypnotized Tiger yesterday. Tiger was just like mesmerized by Undertaker's music. Like anytime I need to calm this boy down, I'm just gonna go to YouTube, put on the Undertaker's theme, and then my boy's gonna be like, "What is happening? That music sounds serious." Yeah, because when Taker was coming out, my son, he was like, "Bah, bah, bah," and then he's just like, "What the hell?" So this story, I guess Tiger, there's all this pyro, and I guess it was before a big match, and he had warned the pyro guy, "Hey, the fire's getting really close." And the pyro guy's like, "Oh no, there's just a draft in that arena."
Oh no.
And then Taker comes out, he's standing like literally underneath him, the fire. Oh no. His hat and his coat were set on fire, and he had made the conscious. And this is so funny. He told this side story about he made this because at that point he had been wearing sleeveless coats, but he was the champion. So he was like, oh, he wanted to wear a coat where it showed the belt, so he busted out one of his old, cowboy dusters. Yeah. Oh. He busted out this duster, and then he was going to be sitting it was this weird match where there's all these chambers. There's going to be 4, and then he was going to be standing in the chamber for 20 minutes. So he had poured himself an extra bottle of water on his head because he wanted his hair to stay wet because then once it dries up, he's going to be blind. He's telling this story. He's like, he had poured an extra bottle of water on his head, wore a different coat, and then the pyro guy, whoop, and Taker turns, and then he walked into another one, whoop. And you see him he's still trying to be Undertaker because apparently everything is about the character. He has to be as serious as possible. He's the Undertaker, and he's like, "How do I stay the Undertaker when I'm literally on fire?" He's throwing the coat off. He's throwing his hat on the ground. Apparently, his arms were burnt. His chest, you could just see, the skin was melting.
Oh no!
And then he had to go into a pod and stand there for 20 minutes.
Oh no!
And I was just like. Because at that point I wasn't watching pay-per-views because this was before second degree burn. Yeah, there you go. James is telling me right here, second degree burns.
Wow.
And I was sitting there listening to this story, and I was like, "What the f?" They showed the video of it, and you see him. He's throwing the thing down, and there was someone under the ring feeding him bottles of water, so he can just keep pouring them on himself to kind of just cool himself down. And then he sent a message to the guy. You tell that pyro guy he better make sure he's not there when I get out of here. Because man, Taker was about to bury a man, literally. Yeah. not bury a guy. Oh, buried alive man. No, that dude. He's probably gonna kill. I'm sure that pyro guy was fired on the spot. I'm sure Vince was like, "You're fired." For real. He gave him the real "you're fired." Yeah. This is pyro. I'll find the video for you so you can see it. It's insane. It's just, oh my god, I couldn't believe that story. I was like, oh, and then he was telling the story, he was telling another famous story, when he nearly murdered poor Mick Foley, and he was talking about how if the match would have been like way worse if like he consciously stepped on like the right, like he's like, if I had stepped 1 foot forward, we both would have fell in. I'm like, what? He's like, because he had felt this is not balanced right here. I better take a step back. And it's like he's like, yeah, we probably like they would have fallen on top of each other and decided, oh well, show's over, everyone. Good night. Let's take these almost dead wrestlers to the back. Yeah, it was a surprisingly insightful interview. Stone Cold's actually not a bad interviewer. He kind of gets all over the place, but I think he had a producer on his ass. Yeah. So, because this was like mine, where I'm all over the place. See, my producer just grunts over here on the left over here. My little tiger, he just grunts. Once he's a little bit older, he's gonna be my little producer. He's gonna growl later like a little tiger. Rawr. But yeah, that was trippy, and yeah, it's funny. I'd watched a little bit of what shows am I watching now? I'm not really watching. I'm watching Molly of Denali. I'm watching Odd Squad. I'm watching what else is on PBS Kids? Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. How could I forget? Oh my God, that's like Tiger's like second favorite show. I'm not really watching anything. I'm trying. I watched the first episode of The Boys on Amazon. I'm 2 episodes in on Mandalorian, but there's literally like with a tiny tiger here. It's hard to watch this stuff. We got 2 episodes in of Animaniacs over the weekend.
Told us, but people didn't really. I mean,
people told us, like but we didn't understand. We didn't understand. Like we knew. To the degree of like we are not gonna be able to do like anything. We're either gonna be like busy with him, or if he's asleep, we're gonna be dead tired and falling asleep ourselves. Because the one piece of advice we kept getting called: when he sleeps, you sleep. I'm like, all right. Like literally this past weekend, this Saturday, he fell asleep for 3 hours. We fell asleep for 3 hours because we were freaking dead.
Undertaker dead.
Yeah, we were Undertaker. Oh, we had to rest in peace.
We were able to rest.
Yeah, no, I'm not really watching. It's like I want to watch The Boys. I snuck in 1 episode a few weeks ago, and I'm like, all right, cool.
You did?
No, the one I watched, and then I told you about, and then we watched, and now we have to like. Now we were 1 episode in on that show, and then whenever he's asleep and we're not dead, we're gonna try to watch that show because that one's super ultra violent, crazy pants, and I don't want it anywhere near my son. And so yeah, it's just like there's I don't know when it's hard when I have this podcast about popular culture. It's very hard to consume popular culture.
You started it.
I started it.
You gotta figure it out now.
You gotta figure it. I started this 4 years ago. Before 201 episodes. This is before
way before
baby, before you, before all this stuff.
Pandemic.
Before pandemic. See, it was technically easier.
Not a post-pandemic podcast.
No. This is it's insane. It's I don't even know where to go now with this podcast sometimes. It's like try to. The only thing I ever get to watch is like occasional clips of YouTube at work. But now it's like I wasn't even at my computer today at work. I think I spent maybe like a total of like 40 minutes at my desk today, because apparently everyone had to buy weird video games this past weekend. We were at the big video game warehouse, video game wholesale. For those of you who need to sell wholesale video games, video game wholesale. What did you just take? You snatched the spoon out of your hand? He snatched it. Yeah, today it was literally it was an onslaught today. Everything we sold over the weekend, because we're starting next weekend we're going in a week. We normally don't go in weekends at our video game warehouse. We work Monday through Friday, and then we take the weekends off. But yeah, this coming weekend, I'm gonna be working every weekend till Christmas. But we got hammered today. And what's funny is like, oh, we were beat up pretty beat up pretty good last week, but today was just like it was just weird because people were just buying like the weirdest games. Again, like this is like a holiday segment. I keep forgetting to write down some of the weird. It was just like all the weird games that we sold today. That's what my boss was saying. Like last week, it was like a lot of like good games in bulk. Today was just weird games across the map. It's like we sold 5 copies of Grease Dance for the Xbox 360. It's a dancing game based on the musical Grease. We sold 5 copies. We normally sell like 1 a month. 5 copies over the weekend. Yeah, it's just insane. Was it some other like there was this weird Ice Age game for Kinect. Yeah, we sold like 20 of those. So like what? People still have Kinect. So we sold 250 copies of Rocket League, which is technically free now. You can play Rocket League for free. But hey, more power to good for us that people are still willing to pay. I guess they're paying for the Batmobile. I guess that's in one of them, and they pay for the Flash car. Which again, that's another weird thing. Something that always bothered me about superhero toys. Superman does not need an airplane. Aquaman does not need a submarine, and the Flash does not really need a motorcycle or a car. It's like the weirdest thing. The Flash doesn't need a motorcycle or a car. He runs fast. He doesn't need a vehicle. But they sell toys. Like, oh, here's the Flash riding a motorcycle. He doesn't need it. He can run faster than the motorcycle. Weird quirk of mine. Like as a child, I had a Superman airplane. I'm like, why is Superman in the airplane? He doesn't need the airplane to fly. He flies.
Bad weather.
Bad weather. He's Superman. The man gets punched in the face by Darkseid. I'm sure a little bit of inclement weather doesn't bother Superman. Good golly, it's a little bit hot over here. I better get into my super plane. He needs to put on his in-flight entertainment. That's just terrible toys. You know, Batman. Yeah, Batman needs a plane. Batman needs all the things. Batman needs all the gadgets. Oh, where does he get all these wonderful toys? He needs that. Blue Beetle, my boy, had all the gadgets. Flash, he don't need a. Yeah. James here says, "Hey man, superheroes get tired too." I'm sure at his most tired moment, the Flash could still run faster than any of us. But again, it's all fictional. But it's just a little quirk, a weird thing about it. But yes, we sold like 200 copies of Rocket League, which is a free game. But hey, people need that DLC. And then Just Dance sells forever. And we're going to sell all the Just Dance games until the end of time. We have 20,000 copies of Just Dance 19 for the Wii, and you know what? They keep on selling. If we could get more, we would have, because those things sell. It's wild. Online e-commerce video games is insane. I'm trying to think. There was like I was like there. The one game here. There's one that blew me away today. For the Nintendo DS, not the 3DS, for the Nintendo DS, there was a game called New Zealand Adventure Experience. New Zealand Adventure Experience. I didn't even know we had this game. New Zealand Adventure Experience. It has a little kiwi thing on the little kiwi bird or something.
You get to see Taika Waititi.
If Taika was in the game, I would be all about it. I'd be like screaming it from the top of his lungs. Fly the Conchords. You get to walk around the Lord of the Rings freaking mountains. See, that's the New Zealand Tourist Authority game. But I don't think this game had any of this. But we sold a copy of that. I turned to my boss. I'm like, Bob, New Zealand, something experience.
It's because we all can't travel.
This is a game from like 12 years ago.
I should get my cousin one.
Does it have haka dancing in it? I would hope so. You know what? I'm sure. I think we had more than one copy of this. I'm gonna go back and look at it. I'm gonna post it. I'll post it on our Instagram and Twitter tomorrow. Just because I was so blown away by this game. I'm like,
do you have an Ireland tourist one?
I don't think we have an Ireland one. I think
Is there like an Irish tourist game or?
I don't think so.
Get that for my cousin.
Oh, there, yeah, that, but no, but it's like the most random New Zealand something experience. I was like, what is this game? I was like, what in the world? Because we got thousands of orders. I'm like, me and two of the three bosses were sorting them out. I want to learn how to dance like Maui. That would be cool. I think, I don't know, would that be more Tongan? A Tongan dance? I don't know. Samoa? Because Maui, I don't know if that was like they based that more on Samoa, like the Wild Samoans. The High Chief Peter Maivia. That's the rock. They were the Wild Samoans because Vince McMahon was very much with racial stereotypes, and later on their sons were the Head Shrinkers.
Yeah, drink that.
Other than that, Eric here asked, Dre, are you going to buy Cyberpunk? No. I am not going to buy Cyberpunk. I don't know when I'm going to play any of these games. I can barely freaking get into the games I have that I want to play on stream here. I heard you can modify Cyberpunk. You can modify your junk. I'm assuming that's what you're trying to say. I would not be shocked. So honey, there's this game that's starring Keanu Reeves called Cyberpunk. It's apparently Eric here is telling us you can modify your junk. I would not be surprised. Yeah, so by the same people who brought us The Witcher. Toss a coin to your Witcher.
Throw out my junk.
Throw out my junk.
Go 1-800 junk.
1-800 junk. Yeah, I don't know about Cyberpunk. A lot of these modern games, at my work, we mostly sell garbage. So, although a game that's not garbage, I was slightly interested in, but I'm not gonna buy. It's like a Ghost of Tsushima. It's a cool samurai. Here's a question directed to you, but I'm pretty sure I can answer. My wife's favorite DC hero, I'm pretty sure it's Catwoman, because she has a tattoo of Catwoman on her arm. So I'm pretty confident I can answer that one for you, honey.
Yeah.
Your favorite DC character is Catwoman.
You got it right.
Yeah, so I don't know when I'm going to get to... I don't know if Cyberpunk's coming out for PS4. I thought that was going to be like a PS5 game, but I doubt I'll get to that game. I'm still... There's still games from like the GameCube and PS2 and my original Xbox I still want to get to at some point in my life.
When he's 13.
When he's 13. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to play. Because the original plan, I was going to set it up at work and do some stream from there, but I'm not going to be doing that for the next month and a half. And I can barely play my Switch here and do the stream. I've had an opportunity to stream Super Mario 35. I'm running out of time. That Super Mario 35 game is going to go away in like 3.5 months. What is the worst DC Justice League film character that your wife hates? I don't understand the question, Eric. There's a lot of consonants in there. You got a lot of adjectives in there. Yeah. So I'll have to remember to document all the other weird games that we sell at work. It's always, I feel like that's always a fun thing for me to like oh, look at this weird. Yeah. Ironically, we didn't sell one of my all-time favorite / hated games. The VIP for the game for the Game Boy Color. See, I don't know if you probably aren't aware, wife. Yeah. There was a TV show starring Pamela Anderson called The VIP back in the 90s. Yeah. There's a video game for that. There's a Game Boy Color game.
Can you change your junk?
That one, I don't think so. I think that one was rated T for teen. I'm pretty sure you cannot change your junk. It's rated T for titties. That came from the wife, everyone. That wasn't from me. You can see why I married her. Because she got jokes.
I can't change my junk.
Can't change my junk. It's like if you played Mass Effect, you can decide who to sleep with.
Jesus. Well,
you can have same-sex relationships in Mass Effect. That was a big deal 10 years ago. Fun times in video games. Yeah, VIP for the Game Boy Color. I think it's somewhere on my Instagram. We still have like 20 or 30 copies of that at work. There's a lot of weird Game Boy Color games we have at work. I was like, wow, there was some really weird stuff back then. DS, and we have a lot of weird stuff on DS. Like I think one of my favorites is a Stop Smoking Coach. It's a game that's supposed to help you stop smoking. I guess it's a little coach that's supposed to keep you accountable. But if you never turn on your DS, then how can it keep you accountable? I guess maybe it's more of like a discipline thing. And then one of my favorites that I got from Nintendo was personal trainer walking.
Oh.
It came with a pedometer, and you would connect it to your DS, wirelessly, and then you would track all your steps. But then nowadays you can just do that with your phone. But this was, it was like 10, 11 years ago when that thing, well, actually, no, I would say like 10, 11 years ago. That makes it 08 or 09 when Nintendo was really like going, they were going for it, all the weird games, like, people really like these brain age games. Let's do some stuff for their health. We got hundreds of copies of Personal Trainer Walking. If you're looking for one of those,
people are going to be getting all kinds of healthy stuff for 2021.
I hope so.
It's always
2020's been rough.
It's like, people wanted gym memberships, but there is no gyms to go to anymore, so they're going to get games.
Yeah, for the Wii, we've sold so many copies of My Fitness Coach.
Oh yeah.
For the Wii. I mean, if we still had Wii Fits, I remember last Christmas we sold every single copy of Wii Fit that we had. We had Wii Fit Plus. We sold every single one. My boss had found a whole bunch of Wii Fit Plus and a bunch of Wii Fit boards from another country. Yeah, I don't know if those came from like freaking somewhere in Asia, somewhere in the Middle East, somewhere in UAE. I don't know. My boss found he got a pallet full of these Wii Fits, and we sold them with the Wii Fit. We had a whole bunch of the Wii Fit Plus discs, and we just sold them as a bundle. Like, hey, and we cleaned them out.
Oh, nice.
People have their Wii. The 110 million, 115 million Wiis out there. There's still a lot of healthy people. All right, I think we should end the show now. I think the young man, he needs to get cleaned up. Our executive producer has decided, he has decided, okay, it's time to end the show at this point. All right, and we've been on for almost 50 minutes, so there you go. Yeah, we're going to sell a whole lot of fitness. Yeah, we sell, I feel like a lot of people buy Just Dance because they use it as a fitness regime. But anyway, thank you for watching. This young man is demanding that we end the show now. So thank you for watching. Make sure to follow us at DreGP Podcast on Instagram, on Twitter. If you're not watching this on Facebook, obviously if you're watching this on Facebook, you're already either following us or even you like the page or following us. If you're listening to this on the audio, hey, find us on Facebook. You can watch the show live and contribute like everybody here has today, like Daniel, like Ryan, like Bradney, like Eric, like all the people who've been chiming in on the show. You can chime in live if you watch us live. I'll set up the Skype, that way people can call in. You can call in on Skype. Starting next week, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see if I can make that work. Make sure check out our YouTube page, which I have not updated in a while, but please go subscribe to our YouTube page, Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast on YouTube. If I get over 100 subscribers, I can customize the URL so I can make it youtube.com/Dre's Geek Philosophy. Right now, it's youtube.com/random numbers and letters. So make sure to Google search or either search on YouTube for Dre's Geek Philosophy Podcast and hit that subscribe button and check out our videos. I will hopefully be able to upload all the latest episodes of whatever chaos we've been doing on this at some point. I don't know when. And of course, be awesome like Ryan. Be awesome like Daniel. Be awesome like our other good friend Art. If you want to be awesome and be a patron of our show, you can donate $1. You can donate $5 a month and help subsidize the cost of the show. There are costs behind the scenes. If we can get more subsidies, then it makes things a lot easier. We can do other cool stuff with the show. Like I said, my eventual goal is to be like, we get to the point where a lot of stuff's paid for. We can start buying stuff to give away on the show. People like giveaways. Yay! I work at a video game warehouse. I can buy video games. Hey, give them away. I can stream them and then I can stream a game and then, all right, we finish this game. Let's give it away to a random viewer or viewer of the show. That's the long-term goal. Oh, all the big spikes are him. I'm like, it's fine. It's a part of the show. It's a part of the show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We got to go. Oh yeah, of course. Hey, be sure to have a happy Thanksgiving. Go get yourself stuffed, but don't do it with a whole bunch of family. Stay with your little bubble of family and friends, and take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Boop boop.